Good morning, everybody. We have quite a few people in. I'm sure a lot of people will still join, but not to keep anyone waiting since it's a Saturday, and I'm sure a lot of people have other places to go. There's some Oambe in some places, so I'm sure some people would have a lot of things to do. So just that again, I'd like to thank you for joining the Transformational Teachers Network monthly training strictly for educators. And we would start in a bit. Mrs. Obafisoye will do an introduction and let you know when you can start. So that will help us because we have some icebreakers ready, which will be taken by the esteemed Mrs. Okewo. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I would like to acknowledge the executive director, Dr. Kende Nwani. I don't know anyone who has so much passion, so much passion and concern about teachers like Dr. Nwani. So this is strictly from her heart. She is the main and major sponsor of the Transformational Teachers Network. So you could put in the chat, thank you, Dr. Nwani, thumbs up or something. That's really good. I'd like to say thank you to her. Thank you to our facilitator also, Mrs. Olayinka Obafisoye. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I said in the chat. Also, it'll be great to know where everyone is joining from. It'll be great to know where everybody's joining from. I'm currently in a cold city, which is really cold in a city where you have quite some degrees. Yeah, so it'll be great to know where people are joining from. Professor Kunuga, I can see you already. Yeah, you can't hide. So I can see you there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Lagos, yeah, Lagos. I see Lagos. Okay, Lagos. Anybody from Abeokuta here? Lagos. Wow, seems like everybody is in Lagos. Abu Dhabi. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Ogun State, yay, good. Lagos, Ibadan, thank you so much. Thank you. River State, woo! How is Port Harcourt? How is it doing? Please, when you are visiting Lagos next, could you help us with some bole and fish? Thank you so much. Oh, from the UK, thank you. Thank you, Arepo, Lagos, Ogun State, Rivers, Opik, Ogun State. Thank you so much, Port Harcourt. Great. I see you all. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you all. Rivers
I'm sorry,
State.
but I couldn't find Steve in your contacts. Do you have another name I can use to find the right person?
Rivers State. Great. Port Harcourt. Thank you. Lagos. Thank you. I don't know where Ologunfe is. So I don't know where that is. So I'd like to pass on, Ebonyi. Thank you. Kano. Wow. That's good. That's good. I think this is the first time we're having someone from Kano. Kano, yeah, from the north. Thank you so much. So Mrs. Okewo, Mrs. Okewo, I've been dropping a link in the bio. I think it's something that has to do. Cheers to Kano, yeah, cheers to Kano. I think it's something that has to do with our icebreaker. Yeah, so I think if we can just click that, it would probably help us with the icebreaker. So I would like Mrs. Okewo to, take over at this point, and so we can proceed. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Abayomi. Good morning, everyone. And Mrs. Okelwo, I'm taking the icebreakers. And right now, I have been dropping the link in the chat box, and I know that people have been engaging with it. The question is very simple. If you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, where would you go? And I can see Saudi Arabia, Canada, USA, UK, Dubai. Please, let's have it coming. The Bahamas, Germany, home. I don't know where home is. Ontario, Canada. Back home in India. Fantastic. Please keep it coming. We're creating a word cloud, and I'm going to share the word cloud at the end of this session so you see where we all would rather teleport to if we had an opportunity to. Egypt, Korea, whoa, Qatar, Iceland, Cape Town, Oh my God. Well done. Well done. Let's keep it coming. We're over 150 on this platform. I'd like to see more. Singapore, Scotland, Austria. Oh my God. Well done, everyone. England, Egypt, UK. Let's keep it coming. Switzerland. Definitely not Nigeria. Who is that person? Who is that person?
Our
Definitely not
motherland.
Nigeria. Honestly. Oslo, whoa. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. It's really exciting. I'm going to show you at the end of the session so you see what you all did. And that's a great way to have a starter in your classroom. You can click on that link, get yourself registered on Slido, and you can use that to get your students engaged and have them enjoy learning. One more time, I'll look at it and then I would tell you when we are done. Okay, so we have almost 20 responses. Would like to see more. Osun State in Nigeria, fantastic. Italy, well done. Kuwait, whoa. Australia, Texas, US, well done, well done, well done. This is really exciting. Let's keep it coming. We have 2 more minutes to go. 2 more minutes to go. 2 more minutes to go. Would like to see a lot more coming. Let's Finland. Home. Where is home? Let's know where home is. Iceland, Greece. Middle East. Maybe UK, that person is not sure. Ijebu North. Wow, that's lovely. Saudi Arabia. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Time is almost up. Paris. Well done. Well done, well done. Okay. So this is really exciting. And you know what? I'm going to keep it open so that you keep putting in your favorite place where you want to teleport to. But at this time, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Abayomi so we can, get started. But this is really exciting. You would love what you see at the end of the session. Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Mr. Abayomi.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Whoever put definitely not Nigeria, you need to be.
Honestly.
I'm sorry. Why now? All right, thank you so much. That was really fun. So I'd like to introduce, our speaker today, Mrs. Olayinka Obafisoye. She's an education enthusiast and practitioner with over 20 years of teaching and leading experience. She's the head of school at Meadowhall Education. She's a graduate of the University of Ibadan. She holds a master's degree in international law and diplomacy from Unilag. She furthered her education with a postgraduate degree from Middlesex University, London, and she obtained a qualified teacher status from the National College of Teaching and Leadership, England. She pursued a master's degree in applied education, leadership, and management from University College London. Wow. Mrs. Obafisoye, only you. Mrs. Obafisoye is a strategic visionary known for exceptional academic leadership. Her innovative approach played a vital role in facilitating the school's seamless digital transition during the pandemic, as well as co-leading Meadowhall Education to become the first school in Africa to achieve the Council of British International Schools, COBI's patron accredited membership. Wow, lovely. Mrs. Obafisoye is a dedicated advocate for every child matters. She holds the distinction of being the inaugural instructor and franchisee in the East London area of Stratford for Common UK. She served as a literacy coordinator at a prominent Catholic school in the UK, where she played a key role in enhancing literacy initiatives and student development. She is a certified John Maxwell coach. She's happily married with 2 sons. Ladies and gentlemen, educators, you can put in the chat box the clapping. No, we are not doing a self-introduction. This is the introduction for our facilitator. Put the clap sign in the chat box for Mrs. Olayinka Obafisoye, HRS Meadowhall. She is our facilitator and trainer for today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I see the claps. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mrs. Obafisoye, you're good to go. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much, Abayomi. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ma.
I'm just so excited today. Abayomi, for some reasons, it's not letting me unmute on my laptop. So
Okay.
I'm just going to carry on.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you clearly.
No, I'm using a different device.
Okay.
It's not letting me unmute on my laptop.
Okay. We'll work.
So the host is not letting me.
Oh,
Please
okay.
host, let me, I plead. And I can't even enable my camera as well.
Mr. Cooper, please can you help?
So it's such a beautiful morning today. I'm always ever so excited to be in the midst of educators, my colleagues, parents. You know, it's always refreshing to see how much and how well the education sector of Nigeria has evolved in a lot of areas and is still evolving. And I must thank each and every one of you, even if you're a parent. I must say thank you to you and well done. I mean, this is a Saturday morning. Ideally, we should be either catching up on a rest, you know, an Owambe party, doing different things, but we're all here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so Abayomi, the host has stopped it again. So,
we can see you, Ma, and we can hear. Which one do you want activated?
I'd rather the laptop.
Okay.
Okay, so now I can. Thank you.
All right, Ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Amaka. So we're starting at 10:21, and thank you very much. Today we're looking at keeping children safe. You know, I just love the simplicity of this topic, safeguarding and child protection. And in the course of this training, we'll be looking at the differences. So when we say child protection, are we being literal or are we being metaphorical? Does it have other meanings apart from, you know, just protecting children? We'll be looking at safeguarding. We'll be looking at the differences and, you know, the implication of a deficiency in one. How does it imply? How does it affect, you know, impact the other? So very quickly, I want you to type in the dialog box. Children learn best when they feel. Just one word. One word. Children learn best. Safe. Thank you very much, Mr. Deawe. Thank you very much. Thank you, safe. So apart from safety, how else do they feel? Thank you. Thank you very much. Well done. Loved. Secured. Happy. Absolutely. Wow. They feel free. They feel welcomed. Comfortable. Secured. Loved. Honored. Wow. 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 Protected. Protected. Understood. Thank you. Cared for. Absolutely. Absolutely. They feel included. They feel cherished, included. They feel loved. They feel appreciated. They feel free. There's a sense of liberty. You know, thank you. They're able to, you know, when they feel encouraged, when they feel recognized, when they feel accommodated, when they feel valued, they learn best. Keep it coming. To those of you that have not supported, accepted, I'm just loving this. They feel seen. They feel listened to. They feel heard. They feel understood. Thank you very much. They feel valued. Absolutely. They feel valued. When they feel at home, they will learn. When they feel included, they will learn best. delight. Thank you. They feel delighted. They feel very important. And I'm very sure that everyone on this platform, you know, share those sentiments. You will learn better even as adults when you feel seen, you know, when they feel healthy, when they feel comfortable. Thank you very much. I want you to look at this picture. What do you think is happening here? Look at the size of those fingers. Do you think those fingers belong to an adult or a child? Look at those lovely eyes, terrified, mortified, anticipating something terrible to happen. Is that the face of a child or the face of an adult? And where do you think they're at? Just look at this. Where do you think they're at? Do you think they're at home? Do you think they're on the street? Do you think they're in the classroom? Oh, someone wrote abuse. That's what you see. Thank you. Adult fingers. A child being abused and silenced by a stifled child. Oh my goodness. Thank you. The face of a child, hand up. Thank you. Absolutely. It's an abuse. A violent act. Thank you. Face of a child. A voice muting a child. Bullying. Sign of an assault. Thank you. Thank you. And look at this picture still. Who do you think made this child cry? A parent, a stranger, an uncle, an aunt, the face of a child being forced to, and helpless. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Someone said, someone close to, dirty adult fingers. Absolutely. A child crying for help. Anyone could have. I love that word. Anyone could have been anyone. Thank you. Thank you. And as we look at these pictures, I want you to say to yourself, no child would be in this position under my care, under my watch. And listen, you do not need to be a parent. You do not need to be a school owner, a school leader, as long as you're a human, and we all are. Say that to yourself. If you want to type it, it's okay, but you don't really have to do that. Just say to yourself, no child will be under any of these two conditions in my care. That means I'm ready to do what adults should do so that children can feel and be who and what they should be. Thank you very much, Miss Faith Lawal. Thank you. I want us to look very quickly at what I'm hoping that we'll be able to achieve in 1 hour. I'm hoping we'll be able to, thank you very much, Ms. Chinwe. So we've moved on from sharing. Let's look at the slides and listen. Thank you very much. And to those of you who did not contribute, please, as time goes on, I'd encourage you to do so. So I'm hoping that we're able to differentiate between safeguarding and child protection. I'm hoping that participants will have secure knowledge of how to report and handle child protection issues. And I wanted to notice, we didn't say safeguarding issues, child protection issues. I'm hoping that we'll have enough time to look at the prevent duty. And I'm also hoping that we will be able to recognize a variety of issues that contribute to children's experience of school as an unsafe place. So at some point, we're going to be contrasting and comparing, you know, what are the features of a safe school? What are the features of an unsafe school? At what point would you say this school is well? I'm hoping we'll be able to establish what a safe school is and how to report disclosures, and also how not to report disclosures. And in the course of this training, we'll be using terms such as child protection, safety, safeguarding, safer recruitment, prevent duty, radicalization, terrorism, extremism, lockdown procedures, health and safety. So thank you very much. So let's not type into the dialog box for now. Thank you very much. And just look at this spidergram. I got it from Hertfordshire, one of the websites for children. I mean, children are children everywhere. I don't think there should be any difference between, children in Asia can be kept safe, but children in America, we can be loose when it comes to their safety. I don't think anybody would agree with that. So children are children everywhere. Safeguarding is safeguarding. But the reason why it is essential that as a school owner, as school leaders, we must ensure that you have a policy that exemplifies all of these things that are here, so that your definition, your understanding of what safeguarding is shared. Because people are coming from all sorts of backgrounds, parents and teachers and leaders. You need to have one common goal when it comes to safeguarding your children. Because what I do to safeguard my children might not be what you do. And we need to have one common voice. Abuse has to be abuse. I can't be abusive and say, well, where I'm coming from, I'm allowed to do this. So it's not only expedient, but absolutely imperative that you have a safeguarding and child protection policy. So when you look at all of these tentacles, you have e-safety. Do you teach your children biological, educational, or do you just assume that, well, they should know? Do you know how many children believe that because they have aliases online, they are anonymous? Do you teach digital literacy? Do you teach them about digital footprint? Do you teach them that the internet never forgets? What about safer recruitment? That word should be safer, beg your pardon. Safer recruitment and selection. How do you employ? How do you recruit? Do you check backgrounds? Do you put a call through? Or do you just accept the references that you've been given and that is it? Or have you limited your recruitment process to CVs? I need to encourage you, for the sake of safer recruitment, which is directly linked to safeguarding your children, you need to use application forms, because the training has started, I'm sure you know. CVs will tell you what the prospect wants you to know, but your application forms will ask the questions that have to be asked so that you can get the answers that you need to get. For example, if you have a prospective leader, a prospective teacher who has had prior to applying to your school, they've had a conviction or more, they're not likely to volunteer such information. Or those are the kind of questions you would include in your application form. Building design, health and safety, local issues. If you look at Nigeria today, we know how tough the economy is. There's inflation. Inflation is the global issue right now, but more so in Nigeria. The frequency, the intensity of inflation that we have, it's making a lot of people, and this is not me justifying crimes, but we also know the principle of cause and effect. We have a spike up in crimes. We have kidnapping, local issues. So, you need to adapt your safeguarding policy to where you're at. Behavior management, attendance. Have you ever thought about it? That when you have a child who consistently is not in school, especially for an extensive period of time, could it be that they've been physically abused, sexually abused, and parents do not want you to know? So they keep the child back at home. Now, that does not mean when a child is not in school for a period of time, automatically the child has been abused. Please be guided. I'm just asking, do you ever consider that possibility? Anti-bullying, staff conduct, child protection, your curriculum, do you have? If you have early years, do you have your PSHE? You have primary, secondary. As parents at home, do we have that curriculum teaching our children about behavior, teaching them, giving them sex education, what to do, what not to do, when to cry out for help, what to do when you've cried out for help, but you have not got your desired outcome? That adult has done something, but that something is neither adequate nor appropriate. What do you do next? Do you just leave it and say, well, that is what the head of school did? Or do you escalate? So when you escalate, who do you escalate to? And how do you go about that? So very quickly, in the chat box, safeguarding is about being proactive in keeping people safe, keeping humans safe. Children are people. They're little, so they're little people, but they're people. And to those of you, thank you very much, Mr. Kunuga. Thank you very much, Mr. Jacob. Very, very true. Thank you, Miss Molera. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true. So I want us to look at these definitions of safeguarding and child protection. When you're thinking of both, always think about being proactive. And I'm going to shatter some tables here today, I hope. And I'm also hoping, for us to have locked in on a Saturday morning, that means that we're actually ready to learn. And when you learn, surely there'll be one or two things that you've got to unlearn. And one of those things is praying about your school, about your children, and doing nothing apart from prayers. You're a Muslim, inshallah, this will never happen. You're a Christian, I cover you with the blood of Jesus, and that is all. And I'm not against those. I pray. I'm a woman of faith. But after you've prayed, before you've prayed, during your prayers, what do you do? Because we also know people who do not have any faith. They do not believe in any God. And they keep their children safe. So safeguarding means you are proactive. Proactive safeguarding means you have thought about those things that can go wrong. You're not waiting for bad to happen before you craft a policy, before you call a meeting, before you declare a training. Safeguarding means you have carefully thought about those evils, those ills, those harms that can come to your children, whether at home, in school, wherever you're at, you're taking them out on an educational visit, a school trip. Have you sat to have a risk assessment? How many of us have calculated the risks in our schools, different parts of the schools, the swimming pool, if you have one, the playground, your school gate? Have we trained the non-teaching staff? Or do you think that safeguarding trainings should be restricted to teaching staff? Because if that is what you do, then you need to unlearn that. You need to start training everybody. Anybody can abuse your children. And anybody includes anybody. Could be the dad, could be the mom, could be the uncle, the devoted driver, the committed auntie, could be the neighbor, could be anyone. And what this means is you create, please, you need to take note of this. A safe environment is not self-generated. It is created by humans, by people, by you and I. You want your home to be safe. You want your school to be safe. You put some measures in place. You don't just pray and because your children are smiling, they're not being abused. Who told you that? Why are you being assumptions and being presumptuous? You need to ascertain that certain measures have been removed. Certain measures have been put in place. Don't make it easy for abuse to happen on your premises. Do you have a policy? Do you train staff regularly? Do you train them just once a term or just once a year and that's it? Everybody should know what to do. Is your environment an enabling one or is it an environment where this can happen or this can happen? If you don't want this to happen, it's in your hands. It's not by doing nothing or you're doing something, but that something is not appropriate. It is not adequate. It is not sufficient. Child protection means that a child has either been put in harm's way or they have the potential of coming to harm's way. And I'm not engaging. I'm not using markers. I'm not.
Oh no, not you, ma. So someone else is on the, is able to use markers on the slides. So I'm trying to inform them to stop doing that since it, is affecting your slides. There's some
Thank you
markers on
very
it.
much.
So if you would please, can you please just help us reshare so we can take off the markers? Yeah, so
Thank you.
can
For
you
child
please just
protection, thank you so much,
thank you,
Abayomi.
ma.
And well done. So child protection means if your safeguarding is efficient and effective, you will not have child protection issues. But the truth is, because we're not perfect at times, life happens. But part of leadership means you ensure that life does not happen. Because the reason why we say life happens, we're not perfect, part of the reason is because of the culture of impunity that we have in Africa and in Nigeria, where things happen and people would say, someone, somebody, people, and those people don't have names. If there was enough accountability, I can assure you, life will not happen. So let's look at features of safeguarding. Safeguarding has a proactive approach. And what that means is you don't wait for things to happen. You have to keep carrying on those mental risk assessments in your classroom, at home. And those of us that have older children and significantly younger children at home, have you carried out a risk assessment? What could go wrong? When that younger child begins to pick up on the habits of the young adult that you have in your house, what could go wrong? That is one of those things that could go wrong. So you're proactive. It's also a collaborative effort. You're not working alone. You must have comprehensive policies. And I'm going to be showing you those policies soon. Safeguarding your children does not mean that you restrict those safeguarding policies to the safeguarding and child protection policy. There are other policies that you must have and you must execute, and you must train both children and staff. You must train both children and staff on these policies. You do not craft out a policy, show it to your community, and keep it in a folder. You just stack it up somewhere. For every policy that you have, you must train both staff and the stakeholders involved. Continuous improvement, that's part of why we're all here. And once again, I'm going to say well done to you all. Your safeguarding policies, your safeguarding practices require regular reviews, evaluation, and updates so that you can adequately and appropriately address emerging threats. There are some threats that you have right now that went there last year or 2 years ago. So do you see why you can't just leave your policy as that is our policy? You must review as you go. And these are other policies supporting safeguarding. Do you have a health and safety policy, an anti-bullying policy, behavior and discipline, whistleblowing? Have you taught your staff the principle of whistleblowing? Have you taught them the difference between raising a concern and making an allegation? And what about your children? Do they know that you will safeguard whatever they say to you, depending on what they have said? One of the things that you're going to see as we carry on is, don't ever promise confidentiality before you know what the issue is. You need to be upfront. Don't lie to a child so that they can disclose. When a child says to you, can I speak with you? But please don't tell my mom and dad. Can you not tell Mrs. Obafisoye? Can you not tell Mrs. Horsfall? Can you not tell the leaders and the other teachers? Before you promise them that, don't worry, I will not tell anybody, you need to know what the issue is. Because a lot of issues cannot end with you. You cannot be the judge and the jury. You need to let them understand as pastorally as able to. Well, it depends on what you see. I can't support you alone. We have a structure. It depends on what you say. I might have to share with mom. I might need to mention to dad. I need to speak to school management. And then the leaders would have trained staff so that they also know what are those things that you are at liberty to keep to yourself and what are those things that you must check. And every school leader's safeguarding priorities, you have two of them. The first is safer recruitment. The second is safe premises. You own that. And to say, oh, you know, I work in a public school. It doesn't matter. That's why you're here. Because those children in the public schools, they are children as well. And every single child matters. Every child matters. Whether you're in a private school, you're in a public school, you owe two things when it comes to safeguarding. Safer recruitment. You can't just employ just because they have the technical competence. Have you checked their background? Did they molest a child before coming to your school? Your safe premises. How do parents drop the children off? Are you careless? Are you intentional? Are you deliberate about their safety? How do they pick up? Are your premises porous? Anybody can access at any time. These are things that you must look at. What about playground? Do you have a schedule when teachers are on duty, leaders are on duty, and you're ensuring that the physical presence of adults is actors, predators? They know. They are intentional. They are strategic. So why are you not, as a mom, as a dad, as a teacher, as a school leader, why are you not strategic? Don't you know those peak periods when predators want to take advantage and lure a child? Because research and statistics have shown that when children are molested, most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time, they weren't molested by strangers. Children are usually most of the time molested, either physically, sexually, emotionally, by people known to them. So what have you done about that? Do parents just walk into your school at least you know me, I was here yesterday. Or do you have your structures in place? I want us to look at this. We can't have a group debate, I know. But I want you to use the chat box. You're teaching that very important lesson and topic. And this child is sleeping in your class. What would you do? And what would you have considered before taking those actions? What would have informed your actions? I want us to, let's contribute. What would you do? Are you going to warn the child? Or maybe we have some of us. This can never, the children know me. It can never happen in my class. If your environment is such that children cannot even sleep off, and I know some of us will argue, if the lesson is not boring, they will not sleep. What if there's more to it? And we're not encouraging insolence in classrooms during lessons. Thank you. Why are you sleeping? Would you check? Do they have a temperature? Do you have a school clinic? Do you want to ask them to go there? Do you want to engage the parents? Do you want to ask what exactly is their bedtime? We know that some religious leaders that are parents, at times they have to work really late into the night. Have you ensured that your child's bedtime is being adhered to? Or do you keep them up because you're up? You will inquire, thank you. You know, we're not just going to let him sleep. I won't suggest that, but I'll suggest that you ask questions. You know, if you have a clinic, take the child there and let the child be checked. If you do not have a clinic, you can look after the child in class. Try to keep them awake if they are well. And I know you can't fully determine whether or not they are, but if they're well enough for your judgment, you can try to keep them awake, engage them. But let me say what we will not do. We will not say to the child, you're in trouble. We will not punish the child. Remember, whatever actions you've taken, something or things must have informed those actions. Remember, we have a duty of care towards these children. Okay, so thank you. So thank you. Let's talk, you know, let's look at the slides now. We have our duty of care towards these children. And the duty of care, you have both legal and moral. The legal duty of care, I'm sure they have been exemplified in your policies, on your job descriptions. Those are things that you must do. Those are things that you're obliged by your policies, by the law to do and not do. And your moral duty of care, they're those things that you're not obliged by your policies, you're not obliged by any law, but it's expedient that you do them. You're just being kind. But also remember, when you use your discretion, always consult your policies. Whatever you do, I would say, must remain within the confines of your policies. So we have our duty of care, our responsibilities. You know, we need to ensure that these children are safe, because of what use is a child, that A-star child that the school has supported, taught ever so well. They always get distinctions, but God forbid, the child dies due to your negligence in your school, or the child goes missing. That is why safety must precede academics. Keeping the children safe is number one, and every other thing can come. Consequences of breach, remember, there are consequences, and some of these consequences can actually go beyond the school. You need to understand the importance of upholding the duty of care. It's crucial, it's critical to creating that safe environment that we've all agreed is not self-generated. It doesn't just happen because you wish it, because you want it. It happens because the adults have agreed to do some things and not do some things. It also means that you monitor the key elements. And I want to say, do you have a DSL in your school? A designated safeguarding lead. And this person does not need to be a senior leader. And what exactly do? They support with the policy development and implementation. They train staff, they train students, you know, they support, they guide, they support in carrying out risk assessments. They also document these things that happen. You also have multi-agency collaboration. But remember, whenever you at a school, if it is a private school, the founder, the school owner, is the person that escalates beyond the school. If you work in a public school, the head teacher, the onus is not on the teacher. Someone needs to mute, please. Thank you. They support promoting a safeguarding, when you report disclosures and other child protection issues, you go to your DSL. If the DSL is not available, go to your ADSL. And if you have a governing board, you should have a DSG, a designated safeguarding governor. Remember, all these people must have gone through some trainings. They must know what to do. Their roles must be clearly stated. Please do not delegate responsibilities to people without clarity. A lot of times we talk about when you give authority, you must empower. Yeah, you must do, but you must also give clarity. There are certain things that they're liberty to do and certain things they're not at liberty to do. And when you report a disclosure, you do not go back to ask, please, Mrs. Smith, did the mom really do that to the child? Was it really Mr. Johnson that did that? That is not professional, and that negates the principle and policy of safeguarding and child protection. You report the disclosure and you back off. And let's look at the features of a safe school, a safe classroom. And I also want you as a parent to imbibe these characteristics and to run away from the ones that you really don't want. The children get abused in homes. So it's not just about the school. Are you positive? Are you inclusive? Are the leaders and the teachers, are they culturally competent? Or do you have a school where you hear things like, that's why I just don't like Christians. Christians are so hypocritical. Do you have a school or home where you say things like that? Oh, I can't even stand Muslim. You know the way Muslims are. Do you talk like that? Or do you permit people to talk like that? Now, let me say this to you. We have seen children who have pastors as parents, but the grandparents are Alaji and Alaja. You need to be mindful of your audience. You know the way Igbo people are. Igbo people, they're just like this. That's why I don't employ ethics. You know ethics. They're from Cross River. I don't even employ them. Do you say things like that? Oh my goodness. The worst people you can employ, they are Yorubas. Are you somebody that would permit people to say things like that? Are your policies clear? Do you have adequate supervision and monitoring? Are your facilities, are they well maintained? Are they easily accessible? Do you have an open door policy, open communication? Now, let me quickly say this. A very strong characteristic of an unsafe environment, be it a home or a school, a classroom, is that culture of silence. When children speak up, we go back and we victimize them. When children use their voice, my son is telling me, Mommy, I don't like that uncle. That is our last born in our family. What do you mean you don't like him? Don't ever, we don't say things like that in our family. We like family members. How dare you? That is, Big Mommy. That is Big Mommy's cousin, uncle, auntie's nephew. You must like him. When you have a culture of silence, when we blame children, that is how you have a culture of silence. A child has disclosed, I was molested, I was touched inappropriately. You too, why did you wear that dress? Why was your skirt that short? And listen, I am not promoting indecency in dressing. I am not. But you cannot and you must not blame any victim. I won't come to your house or to your classroom, and because your phone is on the floor, I'll take it away with me. Why was it on the floor? Why were you careless? Let us encourage the children to speak. And how do you encourage them to speak? It is not by asking them to speak. It is by taking action when they speak. And your action must be appropriate. It must be adequate. That child must get their desired outcome. That child must feel listened to. I've heard a lot of adults, leaders and teachers. Oh, I listen to him. I listen to her. A lot of moms and dads, I listen to my children. The question is this. Do they feel listened to? When you have lack of clear guidelines and procedures for safeguarding, supervision is not adequate. During our own time, nobody supervised us. Oh, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you're living in a completely different time. When adult presence, physical adult presence, is not only expedient, but absolutely imperative. Poorly maintained unsafe, facilities, bullying, harassment, discrimination amongst students, lack of engagement and communication with parents. Children go home to speak to parents about things that happen, and teachers are telling them, why didn't you come to me? Why did you go to mom? I'm sorry to say this. Actually, I'm not. That is abusive. That's a form of emotional abuse. A child has spoken to mom, they've spoken to dad, they've spoken to a leader, and the teacher is angry. Why did you speak up? That is how you get children to be quiet, and that is how they get abused. Do you know how many adults were abused as children and they did not tell anyone? And a lot of times I ask, why did you not? I would not have been believed. Oh, I would have been blamed. And because of that, they keep quiet. Oh, my mom would not have done anything. You need to have continuous safeguarding training. Your policy needs to be developed. You need to continue to update. And student education is key. Also endeavor to bring external people, experts to come in and speak to them. Do not limit your children's education to you or your school. Engage other people, engage experts to come in. Did you know that safeguarding policies and procedures vary across different countries? I mean, that's just a thought. And that is also why you need to teach, you need to train, you need to make the awareness of the content of your policies known. Teachers need to know so that my understanding of abuse is your own understanding of abuse, because my understanding of abuse might be limited and yours might be extensive. So when you look at the term, the prevent duty, and what the prevent duty is the measures, the legal duty of the school, of teachers, of parents to protect their children from extremism, terrorism, and radicalization. Do you know how many children are being radicalized as I'm speaking to you right now? And you know, those people, they're quite, they're subtle, they're clever, they're strategic, and very, very intentional. Do you see why we need to be clever? We need to be subtle at times. We need to, we need to be intentional. We need to be committed to safeguarding. And what do? They show videos and pictures of terrible things happening to people in their country. And they say to that person watching, you don't need to feel bad. You don't even need to cry. You can support us. You can be a lone wolf. And please, terrorism and extremism is not exclusive to any religion. It is a humanity problem. It's not about, oh, that religion, they are the terrorists. No, human beings are the terrorists. I remember when I was still living in England, I was teaching in England for a while, and my husband and I were watching TV, and this news came on Sky News, where a black man was waging a bloodied sword and was screaming and saying certain things. And what had he done? He had just beheaded a man called Lee Rigby. Why did she happen to be one of Her Majesty's Royal Guards? And this man's name was Abdulrazak something and all that. But as the news, kept coming on, they kept updating us. A few weeks later, we got to know that that man was actually christened Michael Adeboyejo, and his parents were deacon and deaconess in a certain church. Now, what am I trying to say? Anybody can be radicalized. And remember, it is not about any one religion. It is about people. It's about human beings. So what do you do to make sure that your children do not become terrorists? What do you do to ensure that your children do not become extremists? What do you do to promote fundamental human values? This is not about religion, please. How do you report? How do you respond? Partnerships and collaborations, we've talked about this. I want you to look at this slide. If you're going to be effective in safeguarding your children, because you see, when safeguarding is effective, child protection issues are either eradicated, if that's possible, or significantly diminished. You won't always hold the proverbial horse, quenching fires every day. Oh, that teacher slapped a child. Oh, that teacher, and I need to say this. It's actually a crime to beat children in Lagos State. This is not about Western values. Oh, because they don't beat children. That is why these children are spoiled. Please, if you're here and you're still holding on, please, can you see the screen? One of our colleagues can't see the screen. Can one or two people
Yes, we
corroborate
can.
whether or not they can?
Yes, we can.
You can
We can
do.
see the
Thank
screen.
you.
Yes, yes.
So please, you can log out and come back in. Thank you. I've got my response. Thank you very much to those of you, very supportive. Thank you. Have and consult your safeguarding and child protection policy. And you need to keep disclosures. You need to keep child protection issues very, very confidential. It is not a gist topic. And remember, do not promise confidentiality until you know what the issue is. School founders, school leaders, parents, you need to train so that we know, so that teachers know their jurisdiction, so that they know that I'm allowed to know this and not share. I'm not allowed to know this and not share. Remember, clarity is imperative. You need to engage appropriate personnel, the DSL, the leaders. Please ask open-ended questions. When there's been a disclosure, when there's been a child protection issue, can we not, I beseech you, can we not say things like, was it mommy that did this to you? Was it daddy? Was it the driver? Did your teacher say that to you? Don't ask questions that will require them to respond with either yes or no. Those are closed questions. Can you hear me, please? Someone just said they can't hear me.
We can hear you clearly, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Please don't type. Please don't type. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mikunle. Thank you. And we've said, don't promise, you need to keep records and you need to explore. And these are safeguarding competencies. How can you know that you're competent in the area of safeguarding? When you consult your safeguarding and child protection policy, when you keep disclosures are when a child comes and confides in you. The technical safeguarding term is disclosure. When you know that you've got to keep it confidential and you actually, not just in words, but indeed, you keep those issues, those disclosures confidential. But remember, even in the midst of confidentiality, there are certain, we call them the appropriate personnel that you must engage. So if a child says to me, they're suicidal, God forbid, am I going to keep that to myself? Unless I'm going home with that child. And I won't, unless the child is my biological child. So even when we say confidentiality, please, there are certain people that must know. It is not your job to escalate. Your job is to go to the safeguarding, your safeguarding, your DSL, your designated safeguarding lead, and you disclose. Keep records. Explore the 5 R's of child protection. Recognize, respond, report, record, and refer. And these are the safeguarding competencies. You must know how to recognize abuse. So which of these actions have you ever taken in your class, in your school? Have you ever beaten or slapped the child? Have you ever pulled a child's ear? I just touched the ear. I didn't really pull it. I just, I didn't even smack. I just did that. Can you not do that? Can you not just touch? Can you, the same way, those are, our lovely early years practitioners, those in the EYFS, early childhood, what do we teach the children? We teach them, use your words, keep your hands to yourself. And you can adults also imbibe that. Have you ever pulled a child's ear? Have you ever called a child stupid, foolish, or lazy? Have you ever ignored the child when they spoke to you or needed your attention? Did you do that intentionally because you thought, well, you weren't listening when I was talking? That's why you're asking questions. Or did you ignore them because their mom escalated the matter? Did the child go home and say, oh, Mrs. this person or Mr. that person has done this? And then you begin to ignore that child. It is called neglect. It is a form of abuse. Have you ever got angry when a child did not do as well as you expected, as you anticipated? Now, I want you to consider this. Those particular children that experienced those actions of yours, how do you think they felt? Were there options to those things that you did? Were there some other things that you could have done as opposed to those things that we talked about? Do you see why you need an effective behavior and discipline policy? I mean, everything is tied. So we're saying to you, no corporal punishment. And a lot of teachers, because that is our background. We were beaten in class, we were beaten at home, and we have not been modeled to different ways of applying discipline in class, in school, apart from being abusive, either verbally or physically. So do you see why school leaders, you must train your teachers? Because some teachers genuinely, they do not have options. Okay, they've said we should not beat the children. That is why the children are rotten. And whilst I do not agree with that, I also have them been trained in the alternatives. So don't beat a child. This is what you do. That is what your anti-bullying, your behavior and discipline policies should be doing. We have physical abuse. I mean, just you might want to look at this pencil, this acronym, if you're not used to it. P for physical abuse, E for emotional abuse, N for neglect, S for sexual abuse, and O for cyber abuse or online abuse. I want you to look at this. Just look at this. And these children, they're being disciplined in quotes. Somebody did this to them because they loved them. It's because I love you. And I don't want you, you know, to be rotten or to have terrible, to have a terrible behavior. A human being did this to another human being. Why? Because they love them. So when you notice a child who consistently does not want to get changed for PE or swimming, if your children go for swimming, it could be. I am not saying that it is. So please, let's be mindful how we're being absolute or being conclusive. Could it be because they have injuries they're trying to hide and they don't want them to come to school until everything heals? Emotional abuse. This is the second most common reason for children needing protection. And emotional abuse is tied to verbal abuse. Useless child. You can never, why am I not surprised it was you? I was actually expecting you to get in trouble. I knew somebody would bring you to me. Those words are very, very, very abusive. We need to train teachers. Leaders need to understand that whatever expectations that you have of your community, you need to ask yourself, have you trained? Have you educated? Have you retrained? Are you mentoring? Or do you just assume? Do you monitor? And when you monitor, the essence of monitoring is not catching. The essence of monitoring is giving support. Emotional abuse can be very difficult to recognize. And neglect, the same, can be very difficult. Not at times conspicuous. You have a child who comes into school without breakfast, no provision for lunch. And I know we have those children whose parents might be quite impoverished. But what about those whose parents are not? At times we get so busy. At times we need to travel out of the country, and that is not a bad thing. But what provision have you made before you left? Did you ensure that there's actually food at home? Or did you say to someone, make sure there's food at home, and you took off? And that someone forgot. Maybe that child usually would feed back to the parent negative things that that auntie or that uncle has done. And that person is thinking, yeah, at least your mommy is not here now. Daddy is not here. I will show you. And you know, when you think about all these things, it's not for you to be paranoid. It's just for you to know that bad happens. Bad actually happens. And let me say this at this point. Statistics have actually shown, and research has shown as well, that majority of perpetrators and predators in schools, they actually went into that school with the intent of causing harm. Consider safety in these very critical areas in your school. Your science laboratories, and mommies and daddies on this platform. You need to have that risk assessment in your home. Are children allowed everything and anything? Do they have access to everything and anything? Or do you safeguard them? Rules can safeguard. Signage can safeguard. Science laboratories. All your chemicals, do you leave them in an open surface and you just speak to them? Nobody should go there. Is that what you do? Even if you're in a public school, I'm sure if you plan for it, you can get a carpenter to get a cupboard so that you can enclose all those things in. There must be a lock. Chemicals can change the life of a child. At times, God forbid, more than one child. Your swimming pools. Is a swimming pool, if you have one, is it guarded? What is the qualification of your swimming coaches? Do you have lifeguards? One of the things you must remember when you think about swimming is most people that drowned, they were good swimmers. A lot of people feel when somebody drowned, you know, but if he knew he couldn't swim, why did he get into water? Please, swimmers drown. Do you have enough signage? Have you trained your children about how critical the swimming pool is? Your playground? Have you tested your facilities, your infrastructure on the playground? What about your restrooms? Are your restrooms places where children can go to abuse, to bully, to vape, to do all sorts? What structures have you put in place? If you're here and bad things happen in your restroom, are you going to say, oh my goodness, I'm shocked? Should you really be shocked? Remember, safeguarding is about being anticipatory, being preemptive, thinking ahead, having foresight, no hindsight. Not when bad happens. Okay, since this happened, from now on, we will not, could you have averted that evil? What about car parks, your art rooms, home economics labs, your school zoos? Sexual abuse. We know it's a very sensitive subject. Because your children are not disclosing does not mean they're not being sexually molested. Because the child is quiet does not mean that things are not happening to them or things have not happened to them. What does your policy say? Have you trained your children? Have you trained your staff? As a school leader, do you say to staff, oh, I know you did not mean it. Can you not say things like that? Because you do not know. Don't validate wrongness. Please do not. When there's a concern or there's an allegation, your policy must guide what you do and what you do not do. Schools and teachers and homes, we need to have a very good, this is online abuse now. A lot of people, a lot of children believe that they're anonymous online. They believe that because nobody knows them, so whatever they do, it ends with them. And it actually ends with them and nobody knows until it no longer ends with them. In your school, at home, do you give digital literacy? Do you talk to your children? Do you let them understand the import of digital footprint? Are they aware that Snapchat is the #1 platform for child abuse, child molestation? Are you aware as a mom, as a dad, that social media platforms have age limit, age restrictions. If you're here and your child has a smartphone and they're not yet 14, I want you to be very careful with that. That means you must, I would advise no, but it's not about my advice. If you think they must do, you must censor them. A lot of ills happen online and they're very subtle. There are a lot of rooms that look very safe, but there are inner rooms and more inner rooms that can be very dark and very, very dangerous. Do you have an e-safety policy? Having a policy is not enough. You must teach your community the content of the policy. You must monitor as well. Who checks? You must monitor the monitors as well. Do not exclude leaders from being possible predators. When we said anyone includes anyone, including the head of school, including the mom, including the dad. I remember when I was still in England, we had a child in year 3, a girl child, a 7-year-old, who would insert a finger in a private and masturbate. And we asked her why she did, and she said, it just feels very good. And we called mom and dad in, and we thought they would pass out. We thought they would be absolutely mortified, and they weren't. And I'll tell you what mom said. Mom said, fine, that's fine. That means, I'll stop doing it in the living room. I'll take it to the bedroom. And I'm not suggesting that every bad behavior comes from home. The world is bigger than that now. But I don't want you to exempt mom and dad. A lot of times we don't exempt the head of school. Don't, please. Anyone is anyone. And if anybody, has signs of being abused, you need to investigate. But not you, the teacher. The teacher does not investigate. The DSL and the senior leaders do. Also protect yourself. The children in your school, if I came to your school and I asked, who do you go to if you're in trouble or if you're not happy? Do they know? And this is not about being in a public school or a private school. This is about safeguarding children anywhere in the world. Every child must know. They must know who to go to. And if you're not the go-to person, don't be offended. If you're not their safe place, allow them to go to who they want to go to. We need to stop saying to children, you should have come to me. If they would rather go to somebody else, let them. That is the safe place. And what about grooming in position of trust? You have teachers, you have adults admiring children, saying, oh, you look so beautiful. And those predators and those perpetrators, those who groom, you know what they do? At times they groom for 10 years before they pounce. It's all part of a plan. They look at a minor and they're suggesting that this child is sexually active. They know the child is not, but they want the child to feel at ease with sex, the concept of sex and the activities. They're saying to a minor, I know you were with your boyfriend last night. Oh, did he do it well? We have heard all sorts in different places. Just make sure you use a condom. They're talking to minors that shouldn't even be in any form of sexual relationship. You know why? Because they're predators. They haven't pounced, they haven't molested, but they have started grooming. You need to be aware. Your children need to be, they need to be aware that a lot of young people online could be 65-year-olds, could be 48-year-olds, could be 50-year-olds. They need to know that. Don't compliment the children. Oh, you look so handsome. Don't. And in the days of homosexuality now, you can't even say, oh, it's girl to girl. Oh, because, it's a female child and a female teacher, there's nothing, there could be something. Which is why you must teach your children and your staff the difference between raising a concern and making an allegation. Bullying and cyberbullying. It's difficult to have 20 children and not have children who would bully. I was in a conversation with the executive director of TTN, who is also the CEO of Meadowhawk Group, Dr. Kendewani. I was in a conversation with her last night and she said, look, we need to keep, and I'm saying this to you as well, we need to keep teaching the children the difference between bullying and being mean. A child can be mean, but yet they have not bullied. What is bullying? Several times on purpose. Several times on purpose to a particular child. And both have to be addressed. Remember, when you have bullying and cyberbullying issues, what you do matters. Taking action is not enough. Your action must be adequate. It must be sufficient. Your action must bring the desired outcome. In Meadow Hall, Dr. Wani taught us this a few years ago. SWAG, it's an acronym. And what SWAG means is a child is being bullied, speak up, address that child, ask them to stop. If it carries on, walk away. It carries on, assert yourself a bit more sternly. Let the child understand you shouldn't be doing that. I should not put up with this. If it carries on, you get an adult. And why we've adopted this is we need. Is complimenting a child bad? Complimenting a child is not bad, but it is absolutely unnecessary. And we don't want to say, oh, the female staff can do it, but the male staff cannot. Complimenting a minor can be the beginning of grooming. So please, I would advise, do not. It is unnecessary. It is unnecessary. You can tell them, oh, you look well. And, you know, this does not actually, I mean, when the lit lands, you're talking about 0 to 5 years, key stage 1, that is slightly different. Can you tell a child, I love you? Oh, yes, you can. But make sure that your biological child. Make sure that your biological child. If they're not your biological child, at a certain age, you honestly don't want to say that to children. Because, you know, that the world in reveal, because you've got, the thing is, you don't want any form of allegations or even anybody to raise a concern. If they're really little, the child is saying to you, I love you, Mr. Obafisoye. It depends on the age. Most likely, I'm going to say it back. But at a certain age, I will not say it back. I will not, because I've got to protect myself. Remember, anyone means anyone. Nobody is exempt. What are some examples of safeguarding? A safeguarding and child protection policy, other safeguarding policies we've talked about, anti-bullying policy, behavior and discipline, safer recruitment, safe premises, recognizing and responding. Now remember, responding is not enough. Your response must be sufficient. Your response must give. Yeah, you can encourage them, Miss Blessing. You can encourage the children, you know, don't worry, you're a superstar. You're not very good at this. Keep learning how to do it. And I'm very sure if you don't give up, you're going to shine. You can encourage children without being emotive, you know. Responding to allegations of abuse made against the child, made against us, a member of staff, recruiting the right people to work and volunteer with children. In Meadow Hall, for example, and when I share with you, I'm not trying to say this is the way. I'm only sharing this is what we do. Our governing board, they come in to support us from time to time in observing lessons. One of the things we do is there's always a senior leader with each and every one of them. And the most important thing is before anybody accesses our children, either virtually or physically, we train them in safeguarding and child protection so that our definition of abuse becomes their own definition of abuse as long as they have access to our children. Preventing and responding. Remember, prevent it. Safeguarding, responding to concerns about online abuse, ensuring a lot of us from time to time, you know, we use, especially teachers, we put children's pictures on our status as our DP. If they know your biological children, can you not do that? If you try this in England, for example, you become a suspect. Immediately you become a suspect. Why would you have children's pictures on your device and they're not your biological children? Now, if you have a system at work where you're permitted to, don't broadcast the pictures or the videos because it's the birthday. Whistleblowing is also key. The role of the teacher and school, teachers and schools, you know, moms, dads at home, it is our responsibility. It is. And we must identify child protection concerns early. One of the issues that usually, you know, schools will have and at home. We keep waiting for children to report bullying and abuse. And remember, children who are bullied, children who are bullied and abused, most of the time, they're timid. They are children that will not speak up. Do you see why you must be observant? Do you see why teachers must be trained on how to be physically and actively present? Don't be present, but you're busy marking. You must be able to pick a lot of these things yourself. It is every child's right to be safe and every adult's responsibility to keep them safe. You know, would you rather report a suspicion of abuse or ignore it? And I want you to reflect. I want you to rethink. I want you to revise. If anybody is having issues, I think they need to check their location. I'm at home, for example. I chose the best location in my home for this. So share in the chat, in the dialogue box, 3 key learnings from the session and 1 action you're going to implement immediately. We call that a quick win. 3 learnings. Let's go. Thank you. Okay. Okay, raising a concern. So raising a concern, what that means, Ms. Folahome, is that person has not done anything wrong or bad, but what they're doing can compromise either themselves or a child. For example, I'm hugging a child a bit too closely. You might want to raise a concern. When I'm speaking to the children, my voice is always too loud. You might want to raise a concern. You might want management to have a word with that teacher. But an allegation means somebody believes something bad, something wrong has happened. A child's safety has been compromised, and someone is feeding that back. I have a duty of care to every child. Thank you very much. Mrs. Ogunshola, thank you. Recruitment process reviewed, trained officers, and be more vigilant. Thank you very much. And I need to say this. Thank you for using that word, Mrs. Ogunshola. The strength of any school, having the children safeguarded, is actually not in trainings. And you must train. You must train. And safeguarding must become your red thread. It must become that thing that you talk about all the time. The secret of keeping them safe is actually vigilance. When everybody knows that everybody's watching them. Thank you very much, Ms. Mbaduga. Safeguarding is for both. It also involves safety. Thank you very much. Thank you. To be more intentional, to be more alert, to be observant. Thank you. Encouraging them, but try not to be motive about it. And I'm not trying to say that, you know, we should lose the humane side of humanity. You know, just be professional. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Bye-bye. No, it's okay. Early years, please hug them. Give them those cuddles every once in a while. And if it's every now and again, that's fine. But keep yourself safe. preserve your honor, preserve your integrity. It's not about winning, the battle. It's about not being on some battlefields. You don't need anybody to call you into some kinds of meetings. This is what a child has said. This is what one of your colleagues have said. They're concerned that you don't do this. They're concerned that you do that. Did you know that not giving children enough playtime can be abusive? For some children, did you know that playtime is a form of an intervention for their wellness, for their well-being, for their academic work? Did you know? Keeping them in class, you must write your work, do your homework. And they must do their homework. They must do their work, but give them enough time to play. Don't steal their childhood from them. Don't make your children adults before they become adults. You know what you're going to have? You're going to have deformed children. They're neither children nor adults. And that's dangerous. Let children be children. Let them play. Let them work. But please let them play. Thank you. You'll be more cautious of this. Thank you. So that you do not violate. Thank you. You linked the 5 R's. Safeguarding is everybody's business. Everybody's business. We're having our family fun fair in Meadow Hall. We're having it in December. Every vendor coming will be trained by the director of studies of a secondary school. Every vendor coming. Anybody that does not attend will not access our children. You must train them. It's about education. Do you know how many people are in jail because they thought it was okay to do certain things that weren't okay to do? Locking toxic chemicals in, thank you. Keeping my hands to myself. Resisting the temptation to use the cane. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's more difficult to teach some children than others. Do you see why you need all those policies? Do you see why? Leaders, parents, teach the people that work for you and with you. Teach them, educate them, mentor them, remind them. Remember where they're coming from. Remember the culture of silence. You know, we were raised not to talk, not to think. We were raised to be obedient. Even when a child is raising a concern, at least do it first. Can we not be like that? Can we listen to them? Can our children know that we are indeed their defenders? And defending them does not mean any allegation you hear, it is true. No, you need to investigate. At times, children also lie. But let them know that when they speak to you, you get up. That is what it means for children to know that they are listened to. And getting up does not mean you're indicting anybody. It means you will investigate. Let us encourage, let us remove that culture of silence where children are meant to be seen and not heard. It's dangerous. We need to be intentional. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Abayomi, I'm done. You've been an amazing, amazing audience. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's it.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. I don't know if anyone has questions. Maybe Mrs. Obafisoye can take 2 questions. 2 questions only. If we don't get any in the next 2 minutes, we'll just have to move on. I agree. This was a master class. I think it should be monetized. This should be monetized.
Thank you for your kind words. Thank you very much. Miss Mercy, I can't hear you. I didn't get what you said, please.
Any questions? Okay. So I don't think we have questions because we have to go. Okay, there's a question.
In your classroom without using that particular word. Be kind. Kindness. And we've also made a demarcation. If you're teaching early years or key stage 1, thank you very much, Mrs. Agbe, for your kind words. Thank you, Ms. Ozioma. we've made a form of demarcation. It depends on the ages. If your early years, year 1 and year 2, it's okay, but be cautious, but it's okay. But if you're teaching children from year 3, you can't just hug them with your full chest. Be mindful. Teaching year 5 asked that, okay, so Mrs. Obafisoye, are you saying when they want, so some of these girls come and are you saying we should push them away? And I said, yes, but this is how you will push them away. Very nicely, remove yourself from that hug. Immediately, you must do that. Now, that might be very, very horrible and quite terrible of a feeling. I get that. So that is a bad narrative for a teacher. I'll give you a worse narrative. That teacher was rubbing my chest on his chest. So you, at times, in critical reasoning, you just need to choose the lesser evil. It is bad to nicely push away, but it is worse when there's an allegation. Protect your dignity, protect your honor. Am I saying we should be inhumane? No. No, you can be kind, you can smile, you can be understanding, you can give them a second chance. If your policy says you should, be kind. I haven't said be nice, because nice is a bit of a shallow word. Nice means you just want to be liked. Be kind. You need to be kind. You need to listen to them. When they speak to you, stop what you're doing. Please, can you say that again? Make notes. Write down. Let them see you. Communicate to them that your happiness, your safety, and of course your happiness means a lot to me. But you're also not the sole determinant factor for their happiness. So should children be trained not to hug teachers? The older children should be, younger children should not. And it's also for teachers to know, that side hug. That's nice. When my oldest son was younger, his friends would come, Mr. Obafisoye, and they would hug me. By the time he was getting to, the end of year 3, year 4, side hug. And now, even year 3, that side hug. And I would just look at them in the face, look at them in the eyes, smile, and call them by name. Beautiful, how are you? Wow, you look so well, fantastic. Without saying I love you, and without, I'll keep hugging them. Let's be mindful. And then you also need to, it's about risk assessment. The head of school is not likely to be looked at, even though we should. The head of school is not likely to be suspected of any, but I must protect myself. And female teachers, be mindful. Just don't be stereotypical. It is the male teachers that abuse. That is not true. That is so not true. The females also abuse sexually, emotionally, physically. Whatever men do, they also do. So I don't think, okay, what type of punishment can upper primary teachers give to their students? So, Ms. Folashade, that would have to be agreed upon in your school. Do you understand? But there are things that you can do apart from corporal punishment. In Meadowhall, for example, calling the parents in, that in fact, when you say it to them, they're already crying. We need to call, your mom needs to come in. That gets to them. We have our, we have the internal suspension. We have our alternative learning environment where they come to, for internal suspension. And we have the fixed term, which is the external suspension for a period of time. And we also have the permanent exclusion, which is the expulsion. But that's what we do. So you need to come as a community. What works with you? What works in you? But whatever you do, do not compromise the safety of your children in the name of, I'm very strict. I don't take nonsense. You can be firm, but fair. That is the balance. Are you the kind of school? One child has done something, but you punish everybody. That's abusive. Please don't do it. Because when one child gets a star, you don't give every child a star. You do not. And you shouldn't do. Miss Jayola. Yes, so not only male teachers. Absolutely. There's that stereotype. There's that, even as parents, we do it. We watch the male domestic staff. We watch them with our hawk eyes. And then the female ones, we overlook a lot of things. Some students don't like being scolded. Yeah, but you're not there to give them what they like. You give them what they need. When you take a child to the hospital, they don't want to have a surgery. They don't want to get injections. And some don't even want to take tablets. But you've got to do what you've got to do, as long as you're not abusive, as long as you do not put them in harm's way, as long as you do not compromise their safety. Abayomi, I think I'm going to stop here. Thank you. Thank you very much. You've been an amazing audience. Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. This was really good. This was really good. Thank you so much for this masterclass. Mrs. Okewo would come up and just talk a bit about CTN. But yes. Let's give Mrs. Obafisoye flowers in the chat box. Thank you so much. A lot of thank yous there. Yes, thank you. The flowers, the hand claps. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. So for people asking for the recording will be available on CTN's YouTube. There is a link in the chat box where you can, subscribe to the YouTube and expect to see the recording there. If you missed it, if you had internet issues, you would see the link in the chat box. That's the TTN YouTube channel. The recording will be available on there. For people who have questions, please send your questions to us via email, or if you're on the WhatsApp group, if you're on any of our communities, send it to us on Instagram, on the WhatsApp groups, on the Telegram groups. Send your questions there. Yes. Okay, Francis, if you can share the social media handles. I can see someone asking for LinkedIn. Someone's asking for Instagram also. And so you can share the handles here. Share the emails also and the WhatsApp group links. Right. Yeah, Mrs. Okel. Mrs. Okel available? Oh, okay.
Can you enable me speak, please?
Yes, we can hear you now. Oh, we could hear you just now.
Okay, I wanted to use my laptop and it says the host should permit me.
Okay, Mr. Cooper.
So let me just start off. Thank you so much, Mr. Obafisoye. This is absolutely amazing. I can see from the number of participants, nobody is stepping out of the room. No one stepped out because of how amazing the session has been. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know that you all enjoyed it. I can see the chat room. Oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. Well done, Mr. Obafisoye. We really appreciate this. And we really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So very quickly, I'll talk about what we have next. Yes, I can see all that in the chat room. Yes, even more. Well done, Mr. Obafisoye. This was actually mind-blowing. Right, so let me go very quickly. We have another session coming up in December, and on the 5th of December, 6th of December, Friday the 6th of December, we are actually going to be sharing a lot that has to do with Christmas. So as you're getting ready for Christmas, as you're planning your Christmas decorations, we are also here ensuring that we support you. So this year's event, we're going to do Christmas decorations, and we're going to be putting you through, helping you understand what to do to get your classroom looking Christmassy, if there's a word like that, and also get your children excited about the season. Mr. Bayomi, can I share?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I want to share the flyer. Okay, thank you. Um, So it's going to be in the month next month, the 6th of December. We'll be talking about Christmas decorations. We have an exciting program planned out for you. Please do not miss it. I'm sure Mr. Bayomi is going to drop the link in the chat room. Kindly start registering now. The way you started using the link when I dropped it for our icebreaker, I think that was really amazing. Start registering right now. The link must have been posted in the chat room. Get connected so you don't miss this exciting session. We're hoping it's also going to get you prepared for Christmas. Your children are going to look forward to the Christmas celebration. Other than that, we have another very exciting event coming up in January, a welcome back to school session. So it's an event where we welcome teachers back to the new school term in the month of January. We share practices that you will need to ensure that your lessons are absolutely amazing. We're going to be having differentiation strategies in the 21st century classrooms. You don't want to miss that. So we have amazing speakers. The executive director herself will also be taking a session on mindset change. You do not want to miss that. It's going to be really, really, really interesting and exciting. Please register immediately you see the link. That's going to hold in the first week of January. We're going to share the exact date in January with you, but then do not miss it. It's going to get you ready for resumption, and for school owners and school heads, you can make it a part of your inset as you prepare for resumption. It's going to be really interesting. We will share more details regarding that with you. And just to also quickly remind teachers that Meadow Hall TTN is a very exciting platform for you and would like you to register. There are many opportunities and benefits of being a part of our TTM group. You don't want to miss the exciting activities holding and information being shared on the platform. We have the links in the platform, in the chat room. You can register, click to be a part of our community. There's so many benefits. For you to be a member of TTA, you will enjoy virtual communication on our platforms. We send emails, you get tips, you get information, you get to know what next we have coming up. We have our monthly virtual meetings that you get benefit from. We discuss very important and interesting topics. We share experiences, we collaborate on projects. Would like you to be a part of that. We have our quarterly trainings and workshop. This is just one of it, and you see how exciting it was. We have the resource sharing opportunities. We have a repository where you can get access to resources, information like this, videos like this, recordings like this. You have access to them in our repository. We have a community building where you're able to work with other people that share the same thoughts as you. You're able to socialize, you're able to connect in formal gatherings, you're able to collectively think of the things that you do and how you're going to excel at what you do. We have our annual conference. Annual conference comes up every year and it's usually exciting. You don't want to miss being a part of this awesome community. For you to be a paid member, you get all these benefits and you also get access to TRC and approved workshop, 2 of those workshops every year. You will get certificates for all the trainings you attend. For you to be a member, all you need to do is pay 24,000 naira per teacher. And for school owners and school heads, you get a 10% discount if you register for over 20 teachers. So let me run through very quickly the benefit of being a paid member. You get access to 8 training sessions annually. You get access to 2 TRCN approved workshops per year. You get certificates for all training programs. You get access to peer mentoring. You get access to smaller cell groups where you can discuss in depth the things you have done and the benefits, and people can learn from you. You have an official membership card and an email signature. That membership card will give you access to many benefits. You get discount on annual conferences. When you register for conferences we'll have in the UK or East Africa, you get discounts on that. You also get discounts from TTN partner brands. We have partner brands like Choice Dental, Smiley Kids, Kenga Ventures, the Lacey Outlet, and many more. You get discounts. You can shop from them and you can get services from them at a discounted price. So do not miss being a member of this community. You have a lot to benefit. Thank you so much, Mr. Abayomi. Once again, thank you, Ms. Obafisoye, for this mind-blowing session. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, Mrs. Okewo. And with that, we've come to the end of this. So the links are still in the chat box, the community links, WhatsApp, Telegrams, and the chat box. If you want to register for the next event, the links are also there. Social media handles are there. Again, I said, if you have questions that you feel were not answered, or you want more, you want to ask more questions, please don't hesitate to send it to us via email, via the WhatsApp channels or the Telegram group. We would respond to it. Someone said, how do I become a paid member? Please. Basically, like Mrs. Okewo rightly mentioned, there's a payment towards that. It's a 24,000 per year or annually. Reach out to us and someone will put you through. Just send a mail. Francis, you can drop the email and the phone number so people can reach out to us. A lot of people asking how they can become paid members. Thank you so much. I'd like to also thank Dr. Wani for this opportunity once again. Queen's College. Anyone from Queen's College here? I saw Mrs. Okolo Patience. Anyone from Queen's College, you can just notify in the chat box. Please notify in the chat box, Queen's College. Queen's College. Okay. Thank you. I am an OGQC. Okay, I don't know what OGQC means, but QC is definitely. Oh, Mrs. Bayode, thank you. Okay, old girls. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. And our partners, Meadow Hall, and LPSS. Meadow Hall and LPSS. Just say hello in the chat box if you're here. Hello, yeah, Meadow Hall, LPSS. Hello. Thank you guys for joining. Igbobi, yes, I saw you, Mrs. Patience Okolo. Hey, Mrs. Agbe, how you doing, ma? Thank you, LPSS. Yeah, Meadow Hall, thank you for joining. Igbobi, I'm sure you guys are here. Yes, Opaisi, I trust you guys. I trust you guys to be here. Igbobi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I also want to say thank you to, people who joined from Dubai, from Kano, from Alberta. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everyone that joined from Opaisi, thank you. Thank you so much. Oxbridge, thank you for joining. CRNPS, thank you for joining. You all can rep your schools in the chat box. This is your time. Brookstone PH, thank you so much. LFGS, thank you. Dainty Oaks, Role Model School, Supreme, Plum Breed, Ocean Crest, Hadex, Evadelaja, thank you so much. Thank you, Dainty Oaks. Kerrydale, thank you. Kekes Senior High, First Quiver, Valencia, Juniper High, the Hudson School, the Redeemers College, a whole host of you. Lead Fort Gates, thank you. Ostra Schools, St. Andrews, Lagos State Model College, thank you so much. Thank you. Vetland Junior School, Kerrydale, Igbobi, of course. Thank you all. Future Edge International, it's coming really fast. So if I miss your school, I'm so sorry. Ikuna Academy, Role Model School, Grand Sycamore. Thank you all. So please allow us to drop the links again. The feedback link, Francis, please, if you could drop the feedback link first so we could get feedback from this session. The feedback link, Francis, please, can you please put that up? Thank you. So kindly help us fill the feedback form. We always want to make it better. We always want to give you, top-notch training. So please help us fill the feedback form. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Francis. Now, can you please help us post the community links, the WhatsApp group and the Telegram group, the links to that in case people would like to join? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's our WhatsApp link and that's the Telegram link. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Francis. Now, would you kindly post the social media handles, the YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, just to get people to join. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Francis. Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you can reach us on all of these handles. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to everybody that joined. Thank you so much. Thank you again. Thank you once again, Mrs. Obafisoye. It was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Cooper, for helping us. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you, Mrs. Obafisoye. Yes, the recorded versions would be on the YouTube, would be on TTN's YouTube channel. You can quickly go there and subscribe. Francis, if you can quickly just put that up before we round up. The TTN YouTube, it would be on the TTN YouTube. Please, you have to leave. It's almost 12. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Francis, please, could you put that up? The YouTube link so people can, there's several trainings on there already. So can you just put that up for us and so we can close? Yes, that's the YouTube. So this recording would be uploaded on there. Just keep an eye out for it and you'd get it. Thank you. Someone is asking for the next training form. Francis, sorry to bother you. Can you just do that one more time? The next training form, the December event. Can you just put that up? And so we can close. Thank you so much, educators. Thank you for taking 2 hours out of your Saturday to be here. We appreciate you and have a blessed day and a wonderful weekend. Bye for now. See you at the next event, which is in about 2 weeks, I believe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a great day and bye-bye.